Welcome everybody, Funny TCG here with a new video, which will be a preview of what deck I will main in OP12, as it seems right now, namely Red Silver's Rayleigh. To be honest, when OP12 was revealed, I thought this would be the worst of the new leaders, but I was definitely wrong. I was happily wrong, because this deck is a lot of fun. It's very strong if you know how to play it, and I want to learn that coming OP12 next to my preparation for the Manchester regional. Silver's Rayleigh, 5000 power, 5 life. We cannot have cards with a cost of 5 or greater in our deck, which is the first interesting line on this leader. That means we have a lot of weenies that we will pump up and swing face with them, and our activate main leader effect helps with that. Once per turn we may reveal 2 event cards from your hand and give up to one of your characters with a base power of 4000 or less 2000 power during this turn. So basically we play out a lot of small bodies, search events, search our key pieces, pump everybody up and swing face. So in some kind this is similar to Betty, my current main deck, but we don't have the issue to go down in hand for leader effect. So I found this very interesting. First we have our search package, classic Straw Hat Searcher Nami from OP01, from OP03 the Buggy Searcher that can look for red events, which is of great use in this deck, especially because of the stat line. 1-3 means we can simply boost it with our leader effect to be a 5k swinger. Next up, Shakuyaku, a new searcher from OP12 that searches the top 5 for a Luffy specifically, or a red event card. And next, a 2-cost searcher, so to say, Boa Hancock from OP12. Look at the top 5, reveal a red event or Luffy as well. But this one has also the activate main. We can trash this character, give up to 2 rested Dawn to one of our leader or character cards. This synergizes well with the new OP12 Super Rare Ruffy, which is the bread and butter of this deck. This is the card that we want to search and find as soon as possible. 4 cost, 4k power. If you have 2 or more attached Dawn, this character gains plus 2000 power. The Dawns do not have to be attached to the Luffy itself, which is very interesting. The Boa helps to utilize rested Dawn for this, so this is very effective, and the on-play is very good as well. You may reveal 2 event cards from your hand and play up to 1 red character with a power of 3000 or less from your hand. Then we can give 1 rested Dawn to a leader or character. From this Luffy we can play the entire search engine, including Boa Hancock, to find the next Luffy, keep on going, and also the second most important card, in my opinion, the OP10 Sanji. Its base power is 3000, so we can play it from Luffy, we can boost it with the Silver's Rayleigh, but additionally, in our turn, this character gains plus 3000 power. So this basically is a 3-cost 8k hitter with the leader effect. It's a threat our opponent has to deal with, and if he does, on KO, we draw a card. Very, very good card in this deck, and I really enjoy the pressure that it can apply. Then our very small rush package. First I thought this would be a deck full of small rushers, but I was again wrong with that. We are currently playing 2 OP1 Sorrows, 3-cost body, 5k power. Rush, nothing too interesting. And this Jinbei. On play, reveal 2 event cards from your hand, then this character gains Rush and 1000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it basically has the same stat line as the Zorro. It can be boosted by leader effect because its base power is 4000. And it has a counter. The only problem I have with this Jinbei at the moment, it's not searchable from the Nami searcher because it's not a Straw Hat. It's early Jinbei, so to say, from the Sun Pirates. Then the 2K Sanji. We are mainly using him as a 2K counter because we don't run any 2K counter cards, character cards in this list despite the Sanji, but he can be useful in matchups where your opponent wants to staff you and wants to control the board rather than taking your life soon. If we use the effect, we can pump him with the leader effect to a 2-cost 9K body, which is horrific, but as I said, I'm mainly using him as a 2K counter. Then we of course have a bunch of events. First, the old ones, 1 Divine Departure, because sometimes it can be hard to deal with big bodies. King Kong Gatling as a finishing event gives us up to 4K power. Fire Fist to deal with board pressure, for example in the mirror match against Betty, in matchups that go very wide with small bodies. Then the Mole Gun, which is, so to say, a tech card, I would say, but I think it's very important because the option to split the minus 5K and the shot on the 2K is very good to deal with specific decks, specific situations like 8-cost Kid, the green one. So I really like this card and I think it's very well placed in this deck. Then the first new event, To Never Doubt That Is Power. 0 cost, but activate main, give up to 2 active Don to your Silver's Rayleigh. And your opponent cannot activate blockers if that leader or character attacks, which is very powerful. Counter, give up to one of your characters or Silver's Rayleigh plus 2000 power, so it's basically a 2K. Then Observation Haki, a search event. Attach 1 active Don to Silver's Rayleigh, look at the top 4 and reveal 1 red event card, or a character with cost of 3 or greater, and add it to your hand. This means Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei, and Luffy, mainly the Luffy, or we can keep on filling our hands with event cards that may or not may be useful. Next up, Conqueror's Haki, a very powerful counter event. For 0 Dawn, we can give plus 2000 to one of our characters or Silver's Rayleigh, and then if we additionally rest one of our Dawn cards, we can give minus 1000 power to all of our opponents' characters and leaders. So we can easily fuck up their entire turn by reducing the power of everything by 1000, so they have to calculate. Completely new for lethal and very, very powerful card. I really like this a lot. And the last new event, Armament Haki. Attach 1 active Dawn to your Silver's Rayleigh and then give 1 leader or character plus 1000. And also it's a 2K if we want to use it for the counter. So very good to give a bit of punch to our characters, make them hit harder. So that's the whole idea. Before we jump into the gameplay, small disclaimer, Yokai TCG, my opponent, did not know what I was going to play in this match. He was not prepared for Rayleigh, he was not even prepared for OP12, to be honest. So keep that in mind when you see the gameplay. He was not too sure how many on-plays actually are in the deck. and how to access it, but I think he did very well, and he's a very good teach player. You should definitely check him out. I link him in the description. He dismantled me with Bello Betty, so let's see if this new surprising deck can deal with him. Enjoy. Alright, let's jump into the game. Obviously, I am playing with quite some proxies since OP12 is yet to be released. Some of the older cards I needed to proxy to because I just didn't have them often enough or didn't want to rip my existing decks apart, so you don't need to wonder about the proxies. First of all, we were chatting about the last match we had, Bello Betty versus Teach, which you can see on my channel as well. Then I decided to go second because I think that fits the deck the best. Yokai going first. Great Teach player. You definitely should check him out. I will link his channel in the description. And then he starts by playing Lafitte, setting up his search engine. I drew into the new Boa, which I will be playing because the on-plays were not negated. So we have to make use of the on-plays right now, searching the top 5 for Monkey D. Luffy or a red event card. At this moment in this search, I am deciding on how I want to approach this game. I decide to go for To Never Doubt That Is Power because it gives unblockable to my leader. So I make the decision to aggro him out, go aggressive into his life, and finish him with an unblockable leader swing in the end. Passing the turn, he will start by searching with his Lafitte, rests 1 Don, and finds a Van Augur, which might be an important piece to help cleaning up my board. He's still thinking again, and then finally takes the Van Augur. He follows up with another search with the My Era Begins event. Searches the top 3, Finger Pistol, Stronger, and Laboon. So he only can take the Stronger, but not necessarily the worst option. Another 2k in hand might be good. Then decides to start swing 6 into lead. I get another To Never Doubt That Is Power event, and therefore my game plan is set in stone, rush him down. I can already tell you I will make a ruling mistake twice in this game. I will tell you when it comes to this point. But this turn I start with the Observation Haki event. I give 1 active Don to my leader, and afterwards I can search the top 4 for a red event or a cost-free or higher character. So as you can see, the only option I really have is the Luffy. I'm trying to memorize what goes under the deck. I take the Luffy, and then I will start to swing aggressively. First of all, I explain the card I just took for Yokai. Again, he was not prepared for this, so I think it's obvious that we have to discuss some things. And then I will go on by using leader effect, showing 2 events, the mole gun and the To Never Doubt That Is Power event that he already knew of my search, giving plus 2000 power to my Boa, 5 to lead. Again, since I am already planning on taking him down aggressively, I will ignore the Lafitte allow his search engine to stay online. Going 6, taking the 2k out of his hand. And for the remaining 3 Don, I play my Sanji. Which means if he doesn't want the draw for me, he has to use his liberation event. Which again means that he will not develop any board state, because he's only at 5 Don. I can do this because he did not have the option or didn't want to play the Doc Q on free. He decides to negate the effect and KO my Sanji without me drawing a card. Then he searches again, takes the 7 Beard, that on rest KOs the free cost. Very good card in this matchup, definitely. He already has a clear game plan, and unfortunately I make a ruling mistake in the next turn that more or less was, I don't know if it was decisive, but it definitely made an impact on the game, and you will see what it is. But I think I start with another search with the observation haki. I give 1 Don to my leader and search the top 4 again. We see the King Kong gun, the Zoro, and the Luffy. I decide to take the Zoro because I want to stick to my rush game plan. Now I have both my Zoros in hand. Unfortunately, I will forget that my leader effect only can be used on characters with 4000 base power or less. Therefore I swing 8 to life. Which was sort of a mistake, should have gone 7. And then 8 if it would have been possible. But first we trigger the event. He finally takes a Doc Q. There is the mistake. Zoro cannot be boosted by my leader effect. So that's unfortunate, but I think the game plan with already 2 to never doubt that his power events would probably still have worked. But I took 2 cards out of his hand with this illegal move, but let's not stick to this. He's at 7 Don now, might play the 7 Beard. Has the Doc Q in hand. And thinks about his trash. Goes 5 into the Zoro, which I defend, which definitely was a mistake because I knew he had the 7 Beard. So I wouldn't have been able to defend the Zoro nonetheless, and still decided to give him a hand card. Then he plays the Kuzan, uses its effect, draws a card, and takes the Van Ogre out of his trash. And with the remaining 2 Don, he plays Doc Q and KOs the Zoro, even without playing the 7 Beard. Then he decides to use leader effect, trashes the stage, and I draw into another mole gun, going up to 8 Don. I am thinking about playing the next Zoro here. The Boa does not provide any value because her on-play is negated, and so I will stick to the plan. I'm just doing the quick math on how I want to attack, because leader attack has to be done first. Might trigger a finger pistol. I'm going 8 into life. He takes that one, then I play the Zorro. I again make the mistake of boosting the Zorro, and then I swing 9 into his life. And he also takes that. Unfortunate, but again, I'm not really sure if it matters in the end, because the game plan was not too bad in this situation. All my characters had an immediate value with their rush, and he tries to dig deeper into his deck, finds 3 Burges off the search, ends up taking the San Juan Wolf, a blocker. Solid choice, slowing me down. And then he is going to plan his turn. Of course, 4 down for the San Juan Wolf. Then 5 down open. First, he might swing with lead into the Zorro. This time I decide to let him go. I recognize that there's no actual value in defending him. And then he goes 5 for another Van Ogre, but attacks 6 first. I give him counter event for 2, and then making sure it's the right decision. Could also establish the 7-beard, which might be a good option, but he goes for going wide, playing San Juan Wolf and Van Ogre, using leader effect and passing the turn. I top take my Buggy Searcher, which I will use to enable the Mulligan to get rid of the blocker, to hopefully take his last life. Since we already know one of his hand cards, which definitely is a brick, we are able to pressure him by demanding 3 cards out of his hand with a 9k swing at the end. I'm showing 2 Mulligans, boosting my Buggy to 5, 1 Dawn up to 6. For some stupid reason I decide to tap him as if I would be attacking, causing some confusion, clarifying that he is no rusher, he's just there. I was just confused by resting my Dawn for the Mulligan. But again, it was a fun game, not too competitive, mainly for the fun, having a small sneak peek into OP12. Now I play the Mulligan, I KO the blocker, and he lets it go. And afterwards it's just 9 to life. 5 cards in hand, 1 is a brick. He most likely has to take it, takes it. And I pass the turn knowing that next turn will be a 15k unblockable swing, which he will not be able to defend. And of course he knows it as well, but plays it through like good sportsmanship demands. And has already prepared his 10 Dawn, KO'd the Buggy with the Dog Q, goes 5 into life, I counter, goes 6 into life, I take, another 6 into life, I take, and then finally plays down 10 cost Teach, the blocker, gives me 1 card for leader effect, but in the end the 15k unblockable swing is coming in. I used to never doubt that his power give 2 active Dawn to my leader. And that's it for game. I hope you enjoyed the small sneak peek into OP12, although there were minor mistakes, little ruling issues, but I think the general game plan of the Rayleigh deck has become clear. It was really fun to play it. I am enjoying it at the moment, and I am planning on making more content on Rayleigh, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to check out Yokai TCG, and see you next time.